Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moll promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
What is with that delay?
Here we go.
What is with that delay? That is crazy. It only happens to us on this show. You're muted, Dakota.
Am I? Can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you absolutely fine. I can't hear Dakota.
Okay.
Every time we do the Bald and Bonkers show or the Disclosure show, this happens. When I do my Ghost Squad Scotland, it's fine. That's crazy, guys. That's absolutely crazy. I'll just let Dakota try and figure out what's wrong. Actually, we're actually joined tonight by Dots. That's got to be a very interesting show, but we'll give Dakota a minute or two until he can figure out what's wrong. Why don't you go to Dakota and come back in really quick? I don't think he can hear us.
I think he said he needs to close it all down if he needs to do that.
Right. That is weird. It's absolutely crazy. That I can't get away with how crazy this. Right. That is really weird, isn't it? Because it shouldn't be doing this, and it's only when we do.
Hey.
Did it kick us all off? What the hell?
No, that was weird.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Got you.
Okay.
See, we could hear you. We were talking away. Could you hear us?
Yes. As I was trying to sign, I can hear you. Dear God. I can hear you.
Do you not think there's something strange going on? Do you not think there's something strange going on with these shows lately?
Because they know what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's just.
I think that's what it is.
This is going to be an interesting weekend, ain't it?
Maybe we should start pre-recording in future.
Oh, well, people got bitchy because, you're not answering me. Like,
I know.
Like we were talking before the show started, this is a topic that really needs to go in. Civilian Disclosure Project. That's our own little take on how we're going to want to do things. And it's an open mic night tonight, so if you got some stories to share, if you got videos you want to show off, more than welcome to do that as well. Anyway, Dots, how the hell are you, man? It's good to finally get a clear picture of your face.
That's it, yeah. I know he's a bit of a presence online for the last couple of years. I have to shout out the team for getting us all sorted together in the dudes and the Galactics and what have you. I mightn't interact with it much, but I definitely keep an eye on what's going on, So when I seen the lads last night, I said, I have to support,
Yeah. No, understandable. That came out pretty late for you, so.
Yeah, well, actually, I missed Alex's webinar by about 2 hours, so I watched it, then I caught it, and Alex started giving me a bit of a shake, and I was like, you know what? I says, I can't. I have to come forward and just say what I know and put it out there. People need to know. I mean, they laugh at you this week. A couple of weeks' time, they won't be laughing. They'll be like,
no.
"What the hell were you
Yeah.
talking about a couple of weeks ago?" And
Yeah.
we know here how serious this is. People won't take it serious for a week or two. Then mainstream will just fall in line. They'll have to. They'll come up, have their own spin in it and all that crap. But this is coming out.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding anymore. This is what I know. I'm just putting it out there for people to have a go at it. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just putting it out there.
It's what I've been for. As I say, before we started, I've not been really following it that much, the UFO subject, for the last few weeks. I've been doing more paranormal stuff. But I have been watching the Corona stuff. And then obviously I put that one to watch the Dakota tonight. I mean, what I've seen in the news, what I've seen, oh my God, the stuff that's coming out is got to be groundbreaking stuff. It's got to change. I think it'll change the world. I think it'll definitely change the world.
Well, the world's changing anyway. This is just getting ahead of it. That's for true. That's why I'm talking here now, because there's no point in saying I knew about this later on. People saying, "What the hell? Why didn't you say something?" It's like, nobody was listening. I found a group of people that are listening, so I have to support. Let just know you're bang on. Now, everyone's on the right, going the right direction. We're all in different lanes, maybe, but we're all heading in the right direction. So we get together,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed on your end, Dots, but it sounded like Chris's mic was actually
You were muffled,
starting
Chris.
to get muffled.
Muffled?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was happening again.
Interference with the audio, yeah.
That's really weird. That my audio is absolutely fine. Am I okay now?
I got to hear. I can understand you most of the time as an Irishman with a lot of Spanish friends.
That's right.
Yeah, so
actually, I can understand you absolutely
fine. A little bit bad. I was there. No, hold on. That's not him. That's Mike. So, no offense, man. As I said, I'm Scottish friends.
That's really weird. Am I coming through muffled right now as I speak to you, Dakota?
No, you're okay
No,
now.
not right now. No.
See, I was hearing something, but I didn't want to say nothing because I could hear tones playing.
Okay, this is like security at the airport. If you see something, say something.
It's good to remember. I'm wearing kind of expensive cans in my head, and they're really, really good at picking up things.
Yeah, no, you're starting to get the headphone dent.
I know I'm getting the head bump back. I listen to too much music, right? But anyway, sometimes a wee while ago it started in this one, and then it moved to this one, and I could hear those tones. I could hear the tones that the CE5 tones every now and again. I could hear them. Yeah. But the different dilations of them.
Yeah, that's definitely in my experience. Whenever those go, it's, for lack of better words, someone's trying to dial you, man.
I can feel them. But I'm trying to stop it.
Not answering the damn phone.
No. The thing is, see, this is the serious thing. I can feel them right now. I can feel them try to take control of me right now, and I'm totally built up a brick wall with them because I can't how to ground myself now and stuff like that. I can feel them right now, and it's weird as fuck, as one would say. Because obviously I've been talking to like Lisa and stuff like that, and she showed me how to ground myself and how to stop myself from getting took, as one would say.
Oh, but
it's no that it's
a muscle thing, man.
No, I'm going to tell you truthfully, right? For 3 weeks, I've not done any UFO stuff, right? I have maybe watched a couple of Elena's videos and stuff like that, but I've also been on a diet, and I've had no sugar for 3 weeks.
Oh, very good.
I maybe drinking this stuff. This is Lucozade, but it's zero sugar. I've had no like sugar, and obviously sugar's like it plays a big part in blocking your spiritual sense.
Antiseptic.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Now I gave up sugar over the last couple of months, and I used honey as a substitute, but I have to cut down the honey because it's blended honey. It's not even local honey. But I'm cutting down it as well. But I've noticed the difference getting the sugar cut out, and I dropped a load of weight as well. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I've noticed the difference in me. So sugar is definitely a big thing to try and cut out if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question I've actually got for Bethy. It's something that I seen the other night there, and I don't really know about this subject, and it's something that I was thinking about. Now, obviously, we've got mobile phone masts, right? And they started going up in the early 90s with obviously the mobile phone and stuff like that. And then we switched over to digital for our TVs and stuff like that. Do you think that's got anything to do with like maybe extraterrestrials that are already visiting here and the government was using that to try and cover up the fact that they're here? See, the reason I say this is because remember that UFO sighting I had, Dakota? Remember the one that I
Which
showed you
one?
with the video, the one with the video in that, and I showed you it was over the windmills, the turbines near where I
Yeah.
was, right? It was a beautiful blue day, skies, couple of clouds, really quickly. I seen nothing. There was nothing over the wind turbines. And there was a mobile phone mast. And at the time I was friendly with this guy, and it was these wee stickers that like 5G's bad for you and stuff like that. And I went up right and I opened the gate and I went right into the mobile phone mast where the tower was. And you could actually feel it. You could feel the pulses coming off it, right? So I stuck my sticker up, shut the gate, walked out and shut the gate. And I turned round and there it was. It was just sitting above the wind turbines, just sitting there. And it slowly moved away and it went over the towns. I mean, it was big. And the strange thing is, I taken a picture with my phone with that. And nothing showed up. But when it was ran through software on a computer, remember that, Dakota? When it was ran through space software and computer, you can clearly see this ginormous object sitting over the top of the wind turbines. So what I'm thinking is, do you think that these obviously mobile phones are a handy thing and stuff like that, but do you think that the radio signals and TV terrestrial signals are maybe used to maybe try and block us? Because maybe when I went close to that, it did something to me. That's what my question is for you.
I'm not sure. It was 5G, was it?
No, it was a 4G tower.
Okay.
It had just been converted to 5G. I don't know if it was on or no, but I know that it's just behind my house. It's just up there.
The only thing I say there is I never really looked into the whole 5G thing, but I came across it a long time ago when it was called millimeter wave technology, and it was a weapons demo.
Yeah.
It was a mobile platform that could be used. And as soon as I heard 5G was coming out, and I see the comparison, I mentioned it to a mate of mine who's an astrophysicist, a very good one actually, and he said the same thing. He goes, yeah. He says very invasive, and it's not a good thing. It can be used as a weapon. It can be used for communication, but it can be used for a weapon. I left it at that. I didn't want to get into it because you have all sorts of conspiracies behind it as well.
I know.
I don't think they're that much of a conspiracy. I've seen it as a weapons demo before it became communication. So,
but what I'm thinking is right. What happens if all of this? Maybe there's a signal in that, right? Maybe it's used for mobile phones and internet and stuff like that. Total different subject. But what happens if there's a signal built into those towers that it's basically broadcasting everywhere simultaneously, right?
But it would be
basically making people blind what's flying about.
Oh, that's possible, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we see in a very specific light spectrum and frequency. I mean, birds and all that have much better vision than us.
Yep.
So it's easy to manipulate us. Well, I haven't looked into it, but I'd imagine that only maybe 20 minutes on the internet, you'll be able to figure that out. If you broadcast or blanket the area with a particular type of wave or signal, it would stop you from receiving hearing or visual. It definitely interferes with your brain.
Oh, yeah.
We do know that there are several frequencies that can be broadcast that can cause a violent and psychotic behavior.
Yep, like brown noise
Yeah. I mean, it's not full on like Stephen King cell, maybe, or who knows at this rate. It's the 2020s. You never fucking know. But this is technology implemented with a lot of MK Ultra aspects. We see it in direct energy weapons being utilized by the military every day. The area, it's not necessarily blocking. It's basically editing out this signal from the brain itself. You're still technically seeing it, but the brain's not registering it being there.
No.
Yeah.
Is where it would end up. And that's why, and I've had an incident where I was, filming something I was physically seeing, didn't show up on the phone, but yet I run it through a computer software, add like an edge detection, and all of a sudden, what I saw was a little dot came out to be about that big.
Yeah. I definitely think there's something. I think they're using like a frequencies. I definitely think the governments of the world are using frequencies to cover stuff up. I really do. And it actually brings us up to like other things. I mean, like obviously there was that. Remember oh my God, this is before your time, Dakota. Remember that broadcast? You remember it, Dots? The broadcast was it in the early 80s? What was the one with the alien
one?
Aye. Can you remember that?
Which one was it? The Max Headroom one or the one that came from Ashtar?
It was Ashtar. I think it was the Galactic Command. Aye, Varlon. That's him. I mean, do you think? What is your opinion in that? If I was wanted to hear your opinion in that for somebody, what's your opinion in that, Dots?
When I first heard it, I wasn't really sure because of the weird voice and the effect and all that. But there was a bit more feedback afterwards. Like, I think it was. Oh, hold on a second. You still got?
Yeah, it's not on.
Okay, right. The screen went blank. I panicked, but I could see it up here, so I know it was on. Yeah, when I first heard it, I thought the voice sounded weird, but then a bit of feedback came back that it was sort of somebody who was up in Ashtar making a thing, but not Ashtar sharing it was Ashtar Galactic Command, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't look into it anymore. I think Elena might have mentioned that it was back then that it was verified, and then they stopped doing it or whatever,
Elena actually did mention something. I believe it's in her first book, Gift from the Stars. Ashtar isn't a name; it is a title, like general. That's one thing that we got to reiterate. That Verlon was a ranking Ashtar for the Galactic Command, which is separate from the Federation. There's occasionally where operations do overlap. That's my understanding of all the layouts that she puts in her book. We're not paid to advertise, or there's a lot of information there, and you've seen Elena pop up on this show enough times with Pandora's box opening up to know that there's something going on with that wall.
Oh yeah.
Well, the stuff that I came across in 2015, 2016, I won't mention it here, but it doesn't really matter. And other things that were corresponding. And then Elena started talking about it a couple of years later, and I instantly knew she was on track. Absolutely rock solid. I already came across this. This is verified to me. Now, that's to me. I found out what I know. I know it. Again, it's, when people say, prove it, I've been researching this for a while. And if you body your arse to actually start having a look at it, you'll see. But they just ignore it. They don't want to know. They'll have to start listening to it now because it really is barreling out. So, again, I'm completely leaving it up to the individual if they want to take this, what I'm saying. I know it's very serious. But it's completely up to them if they want to take the information. And that's it. I'm not selling anything, I'm not pushing anything.
My phone's acting really weird. I had it on Bonkers so I could follow the chat, and it's acting really weird. I've never seen it doing that before. It was flicking. I've never seen it doing that before. I think there's weird stuff happening tonight. There's weird things happening tonight. I can hear that tone again.
See what happens.
Just as if it starts. What I'll do is I'll pause it. It's just so I can keep an eye on the chat because I'm looking for trolls and stuff like that. But it's weird. Do you feel the energy tonight? It feels weird.
It does.
It's like a thunderstorm. If you ever been in the sense of like a thunderstorm and that, and it's all tingly, and you can smell like the rain and.
You're taking the ozone just before you get that ozone smell.
what's that in the chat there? GR official 97 talking about frequencies. I think it's 432 hertz that can heal your body. There has to be one that can damage you. I think what the government are doing. See, this is what I'm looking forward to. Is these beds that are meant to be coming out?
Yeah, the med beds.
Yeah. When are they coming out? I want 2 of them.
Well, we're gonna have one down at Gisig, so I'm just hoping it'll fit my big ass.
Oh my god. I'm badly needed one of them. I mean, it's quite interesting because I was watching a thing tonight about that set. What was his name? Oh, Jesus! It was This guy was on. He was talking about the dark side of the moon and how they've actually got photos, early photos, of the first Apollo, and this seemingly they're going to be releasing them. This is what's happening right now.
Oh,
Seemingly the senator's is actually got a hold of these documents.
Yeah, well,
Well,
some
yeah,
of the
they're
Apollo
pushing
20
hard.
some of the Apollo 20 photos were very interesting if you want to believe in them, and they look pretty cool. So there's definitely stuff that's already out there that's going to be confirmed all right, and I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
I know it's almost hard to really pinpoint a point of discussion because it's so much is happening at all sides. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
What's your opinions? Both of you, what do you think is going to happen in 2 weeks' time? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think they're actually going to come out with and say, listen, there's 300 different races been visiting the Earth for thousands and thousands of years. Oh, but also there's races, the extraterrestrials that also live here. Because I know that's true.
Well, my personal opinion is I wouldn't put a time limit on it because disclosure will come out when people are ready for it and they're observing what's going on. They're sussing out our brainwaves. They're seeing how we're going to react. So you can't really put a date on that because it's an active operation, and you're asking, if you ask them for a date, well then that's compromising the operation. So you can't put a time on it, really. But it's coming out as you see. There's arguments, is the government telling us what's really going on, but you're still finding out about UFOs and aliens. So at least the news is getting out there and people are starting to talk about it. And I think people at this stage realize that governments have lied. I mean, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So, who do you turn to? It seems like we're the ones to figure it out. You know, you can't let the government make decisions anymore. You just can't. They've proven themselves to be totally, woefully inadequate at this job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Let's kind of go off of what Dots is saying. We might see just a little bit of anarchy when people start to realize just how much is, for lack of a better word, I can't really think of a better word to say it. People, even the most, people who try to milk the government as much as they can, like substitute parents, they feel that the government should force feed everything to them. They should be given everything. Even those people are starting to question whether or not that they should have been doing that all along because of everything going on now. Understandable. If there's people out there that genuinely need assistance, you do what you got to do. Make sure you and your family are taken care of. But even JFK files are being re-released. There's
that's going to be interesting.
And, like a point that a lot of people are making. It's like damn near everybody that was associated with JFK is dead. Why are we still dancing around it?
Because I think there's stuff there that they don't really want us to know. I think he was killed for a reason. I think it was his own government that killed him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting a fuck. They can come and take me away if they want. Fuck it.
Hey, I fucking reached out to Robert Kennedy himself because if anybody's gonna hear something, it's gonna be him.
I mean, there's an interesting in the chat there. What's your craziest UFO sighting you've all had? That's an interesting one. Dakota, you want to go first on this?
Well, Dots is the new guy on the block here. We can give him a shot.
Well, I have a number. I have a couple of 2 telescopes at the moment. One's out on loan. It's the digital one. The other one I got when I was mates of mine bought it when I was 21. So I've been out a lot looking at the stars, but I don't use the scopes anymore. I have binoculars with me, and I go out almost every night in Ireland. That's, as much as you can. I've seen a lot, but nothing spectacular. But there was one really good one, and I was watching it enough, and it was dancing around. It was doing weird stuff. It absolutely wasn't a satellite. I actually drew a little sketch of sort of where it went on in the sky, and it went from east to west and north to south. It went all over the place quickly, and like somebody with a laser pointer. It wasn't that fast now, but it definitely wasn't reacting like anything I'd ever seen, and it was quite bright. And I called my mother and brought her out, and I was. It took me a minute to get her out because it's pitch dark, and down the step and out. And I said, see this? And then she started shaking. Now, I'd seen stuff like that before, not quite as active as that. But I had time to go in and get her and then come back out again. Now, she was holding on to me and she was shaking. I was trying to catch it with the binoculars and she was just looking at it. But it was a really good one. And then I was telling my brother about it. And he actually asked her, he said, were you shaking? And she was like, absolutely. She said that didn't look like anything proper at all, So it was a good one. Again, even if I had proof, if it had bothered to get me phone, which it's pointless because you lose your night vision when you turn on your phone and all of that crack. People just say it's fake anyway. So I don't bother with any of that crack. Just, somebody, when you take a picture of it, I was there because I had it in the binoculars. I was looking at it. I'm not going to bother taking out my phone on the off chance that I'll be able to get it. I'm looking at the action. I'm not looking for my phone. So look up within the next few weeks. I'm sure you're going to see something active out there, You want proof.
Get the GoPro strapped to the forehead so you're recording it all.
Aliens waving at me, underwear.
But no major stories out of me, really, just a few sightings. A good few, though. You see satellites every night, absolutely every night. I know exactly what they look like. Exactly what they look like. I'm a satellite tracker on the phone, but don't bring the phone out because you lose your night vision as soon as you turn the phone on and you can't see the stars properly. So I don't bother with it anymore. I know what a satellite looks like. But when you see something jumping around like a light, with no restrictions at all, when you see something jumping around like that, there's nothing that moves like that.
There was one winter's night here in Scotland, and it was beautiful. You could see the Milky Way galaxy and stuff like that. And I was watching the satellites. It was quite late. It was about 11 o'clock at night. I was watching the satellites, and then I seen this one dot. I was just going along and thought, oh, it's just another satellite. And then it stopped, and it went to the side. Then it stopped. Then it started going along again, and it just shut off. And I was like, I was shocked. And that's before I got into the kind of UFO stuff. I was like, what was that I just seen? I mean, if satellites don't do that, satellites just go slow and they keep going and going and going till they disappear. But it just stopped, and it went a wee bit to the side, and then it shut off. And that's just that kind of woke me up a wee bit on the kind of UFO stuff. It got me into it a wee bit. It makes you wonder what's actually up there. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I told Chris about this when it happened last year. Here's one of the weirder ones I've had, and for those of you who followed the show for a while, there's obviously a little bit of a backstory. But there was another visitation from my usual little group that came by. Towards the end of the vision or visit, whatever you want to call it, I remember seeing what looked like a handwritten note saying 19 days. I was like, all right. As Dot said, if you go to ask around for dates, you can't really get something very accurate. They might be able to give you, random guesses on when they expect things to turn around, but you don't want to necessarily take that verbatim just because something can still go wrong. So anyway, I made sure not to tell anybody about this because basically you see a glimpse of the future, that alone changes the course of events. Especially say if some you see a vision of you winning the lottery, you don't tell people jack shit until it actually happens. But moving on. So 19 days, day 18, I was like, well, all the information I gathered, everything from Elena, saying that my case happens because there is a bit of a breeding program going on, and that when the alien invasion comes, I have a family reunion. So 19 days comes up. I look out my window. All of a sudden, there's this crescent moon shaped craft. Looked like it was trying to materialize in the air. And as it was doing that, power went out all over the place. Now, mind you, bit of a heat wave. Everybody had ACs going on. Power companies were trying to tell people, reserve as much as you can. We know you're hot. Reserve as much as you can. Otherwise, the system's going to blow out. So it wouldn't have taken much. Power goes out. The craft disappears right on day 19. So I start going out to relatives just above the mountains. You see what looks like this black ball, for lack of a better. It could have just been how fast it was moving, and that's all my eyes could register. Just shoot across the top of the mountains. Within an hour, that object was seen flying all the way across the state. I'm in Idaho. Within the hour, it was spotted in the northern part of the state next to the Canada border. I'm near the Nevada border. And it's just having a countdown like that actually turn up something was just a bit spooky. Now they could just give me lotto numbers. I don't know. That was one of the weirder ones.
See, I can't, right? This is something I've always wondered, right? Today with the extraterrestrials, right? Obviously, some of them are here to watch us, right? Some of them are obviously here to make sure we don't use nuclear weapons, right? Because we know that nuclear weapons can interfere with like different dimensional aliens, right? So, but what do you think a lot of them come here for? Do you think they come here just to look at us, just to say, "Oh, look at them, look at the apes down there, look what they're doing now. They're invading countries and they're at war with each other." What do you really think they're doing? A lot of them. That's Benny's.
Different ones have different intentions. There's been plenty. They're saying that the reason why we had UFO crashes was because they simply went on a joyride, went sightseeing. They view this planet like a zoo.
Yeah. Tijuana.
Some days.
Go on holidays.
What's that?
Nope.
That's if they treat it like Tijuana or something like that. Let's go on holidays. Let's go to work. I don't know. Again, there'd be a lot of different reasons. There seems to be so many of them out there. We're locked down at the moment. If we're to believe what's happening, I'm a firm believer on what we're finding out. I think Dakota, you're the same as me. We're getting rock solid information. It's according to me, anyway. A lot of stuff has been verified in many different ways for me to say, yeah, okay, I'm just going with this. I get more of a gut feeling now.
Yes.
If it's 3 or 4 times that you're after hitting the mark on the same thing, you just have to say, right, well, that's it. I don't care what the government are trying to tell me because they're not trustable anyway. Don't listen to them, That's just obvious at this stage. Government want one thing, people want another. Government want war so they can make money out of us. Nobody wants to go to war. Ask the people that are picking up the weapons. You want to fight him. You want to fight him. They're then on. I'd rather get on. Have a beer with them, whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's only governments and people in power that want us fighting each other. And as soon as we realise that, they're done. I think they're realising it now. That's what the panic is. That's why the panic and all the bullshit stories trying to confuse everyone. And people are seeing through it because they've been caught lying so much, People are seeing through their shit.
See, I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, oh, the full of the alien stuff and that. And they're like, to me, well, can't wait till the aliens come. They'll come down, they'll give us ships, they'll teach us to travel the universe. And I says, it's not going to work like that. I don't think it's going to work like that. I think they're going to say, here's extraterrestrials, and here's what we've got. Well, because we have got technology that we've got for them, right? I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think they're going to actually physically give us their technology. I think we have to do that. We have to, as a race of beings, we have to do that ourselves.
Well,
Because
look,
aye.
as a Terran, your birthright is the technology that the military already withheld from you.
Yes, yeah, that's
So
what I'm
they're gonna
talking
have to
about.
cough that up before they even upgrade it, if you know what I mean. And that's very good technology. I mean, that's where the med beds are. They
Yeah.
have all of that shit. That's your birthright.
Mhm.
They've restricted it for 70 years, and you need to get it. And then we can talk about the more advanced stuff. But you should have that stuff already. It's just a matter of really just the military will give it to you. It's the government that's the problem at the moment.
Can you imagine what
The
that
government
technology
and
will
the
do?
military will just go, yep, it's for the people, and the people demand it. You know, they're not going to release that stuff to the governments, and they'll corrupt it, and it's as simple as that. And I wouldn't do it either. You couldn't release that into the hands of them fucking animals. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's, see, it's like the med beds, for instance. You think about all these companies out of the world that are making trillions of dollars on medication for cancers, right? Like one pill's like $500 or something stupid like that. Whereas they could get this med bed and somebody that's really unwell, they could pop them in there. But I don't know how long it takes. Pop it in there and then pop them back out again. And they're going to lose all their money. But I think we need to leave money behind. I think, and it's true what people say, we need to go into a kind of Star Trek culture. We need to get rid of money. We need to get rid of it totally. Because money has done nothing but destroy this earth. You think about all the billionaires out there, billion trillionaires that are making billions for cobalt mines, with child labour and stuff like that. And it's money. What is money anyway? Money just is like a token that buys it. I can go to the shop and buy off a can of juice, right? What is money? I mean, what is if we made our society better? If we have this technology where we can travel with stars, where we can heal people, we can probably. How long do you think the humans will last longer? What I mean is, with these medibeds, do you think it'll put our lifespans more, like maybe 200 years?
I love how you were muffled again.
Yeah.
I know. Am I muffled again there?
No,
Just
well,
when you were
now you're
talking.
back, but
Now you're fine. It's just when you were talking, you were muffled.
That is weird.
you know,
And
it's like, come on, people. I already had enough issues trying to understand what this man says when he gets excited. But
see, the thing is, I can understand when Dot speaks loud, I can understand everything he says because he's Celtic like me. He's got a Celtic blood like me, Scotland and Ireland and stuff like that. But I was getting right into that there. I was like, we have to get rid of money, and we have to. Am I muffled? Still muffled?
No, you're
you're
okay
good.
now. Yeah.
We have to get rid of muffle. We'll have to get rid of money, right? And we'll have to try and go down the Star Trek route. Can you imagine how better this world would be if everybody worked together?
Oh yeah.
And we started traveling the stars and we started mining. Instead of mining this beautiful planet, we could mine like asteroids and get our stuff for that. And instead, it's money. It's these elite few that control this planet. If I disappear, guys, by the way, Dakota will be looking for a new co-host. There you go, Tots. Give me his new co-host. But anyway,
I'll pass the target to me.
it's I'm really looking forward to this disclosure stuff because I think it's going to free people. But I do have that wee bit in me where what's going to happen with cults and what's going to happen with religions. Look what happened. Was it the Heaven's Gate when the asteroid was coming, when the comet was coming? And
yeah, you have Heaven's Gate, and when you get to thinking about it, some of the stuff they talked about, how you die, the UFOs that collect you. Technically, when we're talking about star seeds, he goes like, "Holy shit, those crazy people were right." There was just another doomsday cult that just found a mass death not too long ago.
yes,
That's one of those things. A lot of people say, "Oh, no, it wouldn't be that bad. It's like we already have people freaking out because they think they saw reptilians. We have people killing off their own
course,
families with spear guns
See,
because
that's
they have reptilian DNA.
right. I'm going to ask you something. Has any of you
That was
seen
an actual
that
case here
TikTok?
in the States.
Is any of you, is MD in the chat, or is any of you seen that TikTok video that's out there that's circulating? It's on YouTube. The woman in the passenger plane. She says she's seen a reptilian. She says the person changed before their eyes.
Allegedly, the backstory behind this, as y'all would say over there, that woman was very pissed before going on the plane.
Yep. Have you seen
That's
the Chinese
story
one?
that's going around.
Okay.
Have you seen the Chinese one? That was just released the other
Chinese
day.
one.
There's a Chinese one. A man, he freaks out. A Chinese passenger freaks out. He says He says he was sitting in the aisle. I've not seen the video yet, but people have said, and the Chinese guy is sitting there on this Chinese. I can't know, it was Malaysia Airlines or something like that. Look it up, guys, in the chat. And the woman, the flight attendant, walked past him, and he said she looked really weird. She looked just weird. Her face it didn't move. She didn't have any she looked like she had a lot of plastic surgery, put it that way. She didn't have any muscles in her face, right? She went through and she drew the curtain, right? But she didn't draw it all the way. And it was open a wee bit, and he's sitting there and he's watching her, and she presses her back, and a thing popped out her back, and she pulled it right out her back. Aye. And then she puts it back into her back again and clicks it back in. Mm-hmm. See, I don't know if a lot of this is all made up, right, because of what's been happening. I do think there's a lot of misinformation out there, and that's something we do need to address because people are making money off of this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I tend to dismiss a lot of that stuff instantly. I remember it just in case it does come back up again and some, but I get an instant sort of, that doesn't make sense. Or yes, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But I tend to hit it either a yes or a no and then move on, and I'll come back to it as I need to, and I won't get tied up on it. I'm not going to get all the spin me wheels forever tied up on a TikTok video. I just video. Move on.
There's only a few people I trust now, and when it comes to the UFO stuff, I trust Dakota, and I trust Elena stuff. That's it, because I'm very, very. There's that much shit out there, and there is a lot of disinformation. But going back to the religion things, I mean, what do you think this disclosure's got to do to religion? Do you think it'll change it in any way? I mean, I still believe there's a creator, and I still believe that there's an afterlife.
Belief systems worldwide are going to change.
Oh yeah.
Their own. Groups will have their own belief systems, and we can all get on together. We'll be fine, because out there they all have different belief systems anyway. But most of them get on. Some of them don't, obviously. But they all respect each other's beliefs, and we need to do that as well, because we've plenty of different opinions down here, and we can all appreciate each other and live with each other and have different opinions. It's when some asshole pushes their opinion on you, it's an issue.
Yeah.
Live and let live, and put up with somebody, and eventually you'll become friends. We all need to get on, and that's it.
Of course we do.
I
think that's what we need to do. We need to get
tolerate each other, or else we're done as a species. We just self-destruct. So we have to tolerate each other and respect each other's beliefs. But you cannot ram your belief down somebody else's throat.
Exactly.
But again, sorry, this is all just my opinion, lads, but I mean, it makes more sense to me this way, because we need to work together on this.
We do.
Unfortunately, kind of going back to corporate greed, it's actually being speculated right now that a lot of these companies are trying to push woke culture because they found, there's actual studies behind this, they found that diversity creates less generous behavior. And when it comes to the workspace, your workers are less likely to unionize and actually, get, things they actually deserve. I mean, let's look at the situation in Hollywood right now, where people are just trying to find stuff that ensures that they have a job to go to. They're going to be able to pay their bills. yes, we were talked about some of the conspiracies about how AI is going to be used as an excuse. Try to disclaim any videos that come out about any wrongdoing, but nevertheless, there's a lot of people freaking out right now because they're realizing the big bosses are assholes. Nobody can afford a decent living without like 5 other different people in the same household. And the same push about trying to be more inclusive is being pushed because it's pissing people off how far it's being shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
And we're getting to the point where they're starting to target kids right now who don't know any better. They're counting on the fact that the whole family unit is basically destroyed nowadays. Hardly any families these days, just sit down and have dinner because everybody has alternating schedules.
Yeah. It's look, whoever runs this world, the dark family as I call them, the people that run, the real people that run the White House, the real people that run what's happening in Europe and stuff like that, they are making trillions and trillions of dollars off of this because they own the factories. They own the factories that make the weapons, but they also own the factories that make the band-aids. I'm just using this as a kind of hang.
Yeah.
And they're selling the weapons, but they're also selling the medical supplies. And they're just going to, this just keeps happening, and they're making billions and trillions off of us, poor suckers. But I think, when you go, Dutch?
They're very smart, and they tell you what they're doing. When they say sustainable, they mean their jobs. They're not talking about it. When they say everything says, oh, we need it sustainable, that's their job they're talking about. They're never going to do their job correctly if they have another job to do next year. Because as soon as if they complete the job, then you're finished and let somebody else in and take over. No. They drag it out for as long as possible. Sustainable. Their fucking job is sustainable, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you listen to the words they say. They tell you what they're going to do beforehand. They absolutely do. They're cheeky fuckers,
Oh, yeah. See, the thing is, with the war in Europe, that's all planned. That's all planned, and it's making trillions of dollars for the elites. Might not seem that way, but it is. It's making eventually that country's going to fall. Right? Eventually it's going to fall because it can't anymore. And see, when it falls, they'll come up with some other mad idea to make more money. Oh, look, there's a new pandemic. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do.
I think the jig is at this stage, though. I mean, I think the jig is up. I think people are onto them.
Oh,
I don't think they can try, but I mean,
they can try, but what's that in the chat there?
Don't forget the people that take up the weapons that go to fight these wars. They have fucking brains as well, and they're people. They're not going to take them orders. They're going to cop on and just go, fuck this, not happening. We're not doing this. They proved themselves completely irresponsible. No matter what country or what government it is, they're all bought and paid for. We're going to realize that. We're just going to have to say, no fucking more. Sorry for the cursing.
That's fine. That's sweet.
Passionate.
Look, hopefully when this disclosure happens and all the technology, most of the technology is released to the public sector, and we can have these medibeds, I think a lot of these companies around the world are going to collapse. Like the pharmaceutical companies, they're going to collapse.
Yeah, but there's no need for them anymore,
The weapons industry, we need to get rid of all the weapons. We need to get rid of our nuclear weapons. We need to. I think it's a big factor in this. I think when we do manage to change the governments in this world, I think our main priority would be, I'm not saying get rid of like defensive purposes, obviously. Look, see, this is the thing. If there was bad aliens out there, which there is some bad aliens out there, I'll admit that, and the aliens that are visiting us now, they could so easily wipe us out. They could so easily wipe us out. All they need is nudge an asteroid or something like that towards us, some stupid like that. I think we need to get rid of a lot of the weapons of mass destruction. I mean, what's your thoughts on this, Dakota? Do you think it's a good idea to get, when we start rebuilding this world, to get rid of a lot of the dangerous technologies that we've got?
The thing is, with weapons of mass destruction, when we started testing the atomic bomb in the 1940s, we all know, and it's well acknowledged, that's when UFOs really started to make an appearance. Yes, there was an occasional sighting here, sighting there. I mean, ghost sightings. Newspaper I did an interview for a couple of years ago pointed out that one of the earliest ghost sightings took place back in ancient Greece. Now, when it comes to these weapons, yes, we're not necessarily get rid of all of them because, let's face it, there's still assholes going to be out there. The repressives may be gone, but there's still assholes out there waiting for an opportunity to stir up trouble. And we have to be ready for it. But weapons of mass destruction is the atomic bomb. That fucked up a lot more shit than we realized, basically. And there's other people starting to say, hey, you're kind of bombing us. We didn't do anything to you.
See, that's what I'm saying, right? I will have to have like a military presence, right? We'll have to deal at the Galactic Federation. We'll have to have like a military presence in like a solar system and that to protect ourselves from any stray bad people, extraterrestrials that come in, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that these nuclear weapons that we've got, what's the purpose of them? What is the purpose of them? I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of warheads stashed away all over this planet, right? We need to get rid of them because it only takes one. It only takes one to start a war.
No, you're dead right. And the purpose for them was to make money. They'll sell whatever. They'll sell it any story and just sell it to you anyway. And I mean, they're exceptionally dangerous. We wouldn't be let use them anyway. I mean, you mess around with fourth and fifth density there, and there's so many races that just go absolutely not. I think most of the nuclear weapons have probably been dismantled or neutralized at this stage.
Yeah.
And there's no going forward with nuclear weapons. We don't need them for defense. We're going to have much better stuff anyway. So that's just totally backwards. I wouldn't be going near it. We can have defense shields up where nuclear weapons have no effect on them anyway, but you don't want any nuclear radiation knocking around. That's just messy. The explosion itself is actually what causes damage in the other dimensions, as far as I know. But I don't think there'll be any future for nuclear weapons. You know?
I don't think it would allow.
You're like keeping a hold of a bow and arrow when you're in a tank. And the bow and arrow is poisonous and you're going to stick yourself with it. It'd be just ridiculous to hold on to it. Dangerous and pointless because, you don't need it. The technology's better.
See, it's like let's take the Galactic Federation, right? Let's take the Galactic Federation, one of their high sophisticated ships, right? Something high, the most sophisticated ships that they've got, right? You fire a nuclear missile at that, what's it got to do? Probably nothing, because they'll probably turn it off by the time it hits its hull. Yeah, I mean, it's probably. You look what happens with there was reports where fighter jet pilots have actually tried to shoot at these UFOs, and the rounds have went right through them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our weapons are old.
Yeah, if they're in a different density, it'll go straight through anyway.
Exactly.
But I don't even know if you can see them if they're in a different density. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But, a fire jet against something that's anti-gravity drive, come on. Anti-gravity drive can go instant fast. Yeah. So it's a joke. You can't go up against something like that, No.
I mean, obviously we do have the secret space program and that, and obviously we do have the secret stuff.
Oh, you got to pause.
Oh,
what's happened here?
And here with
you froze for a second.
Scotland's been bombed.
No, that was weird. That, by the way, because I was still live. I was talking away.
No, you may have been talking away, but you were cut off.
Yeah, you froze.
They're coming for me. Take me.
What?
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, God.
Oh, okay, right. Chris was taking. You've seen it live on air, folks.
Live on air. You saw it.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, that couldn't have been more perfect.
What happened?
You said
take me away, and you just disappeared.
My computer screen just went all black.
You literally disappeared from our side,
you
Chris.
Disappeared from me.
No, you were completely logged out, Chris. You were completely logged out on our end. You were not here. Right as you said, "Take me," you're gone.
You went.
Take me! I'm ready! Take me back! Fuck's sake. They must have broke me back really quick. As well, I'm going to take that bastard on the plane. He's annoying him.
Oh my god.
That's weird, that, isn't it? I mean, how's
Never
that
been that
possible?
perfect. It's never been that perfect.
I went, take me back, and then you just disappeared. I was sitting drinking my can of juice, and I started doing, and then you just popped back again.
But funny enough, a minute ago, a light in front of me flashed. I don't know if anyone, maybe somebody in the chat noticed it, but I could have sworn a light beamed up, and there's a power protector on this. It shouldn't do that, you know.
Ken, I do have a weird feeling that we're not alone right now.
I mean, look,
it's
We
weird.
never are.
It's
never
weird.
are.
It's honestly, I feel like there's somebody standing behind Dots, and that's the honest truth. I feel
Yeah.
I came with it as 10. I don't want to say it because then it'll freak them out.
no, you're not going to freak me out. If somebody's in here, they got through my frequency. They're a
You
friend.
came out, I see.
How do you get in here?
You came out, I see, right? And I'm bad for this, right? It's not a spirit that I see. It's like a tall one, really tall, skinny.
Which side? This side? That side?
Aye. I'd read about where your calendar is on the wall. He's just standing there. You ever seen the film? You ever seen that film? Oh, I don't know what these races are called. You ever seen the film AI about the wee boy robot?
Oh, yeah.
Right, you see how there's aliens in that, extraterrestrials in that at the very end, and they're tall and skinny and they've got funny looking faces, they don't have any features. That is what standing behind you. That's what I can see moving about.
Oh, cool.
Something looks exactly the same as that, and it's moving about.
Excellent. Make us a couple.
That's weird. I mean, how could you plan that? I mean, take me. It'd be funny if there was a light beam and beam me up. Do you think how famous you would be? I'd be even more famous, but I'd be like, yeah.
You'd be more famous. You'd be gone.
I know. I'd be aboard the mothership, ladies and gentlemen. I'd be aboard the
It's
lady
like,
ship.
oh, the Russians finally got him.
Yep. I'll tell you something new. I hope I never go to Russia. They'll probably put me in the jail for a long time. That's weird, though. There's a lot of weird shit going on tonight. A lot of weird stuff.
Man, I'm usually the one that has the weird stuff happening.
Maybe it's because I've not been practicing what I used to do for a long time, and because I've not been taking sugary products, I'm opening them back up again.
Maybe,
Do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Whereas the Iron Fire horses, glitches like that happen all the time, but the timing on that one was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was.
You couldn't have got it anywhere.
See, maybe this is our friends just having a wee joke of us to help people
They
wake
would
up.
do that.
See, this is the thing. Remember they done that with you, Dakota, when we first started doing this show, and I said, and we were joking about with the Galactic Command, and I said to you about something, your EMF meter kept lighting up every time, and we were joking about it. See, it
Yeah,
makes
that
you
was-
wonder.
That was
They
my
have that
wife
sense
fucking
of-
with me.
I think no, honestly, I think they have got a sense of humor. I
They
really
do.
do think I really do
big
think
time.
they've got a sense of humor.
Big time, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
a lot
they're
more
just
human
like
than
us,
people
except-
realize.
They're just like us, but they've got the power to do what they want, and they're probably all sitting right now laughing away, all the different races and the command bridge or whatever they are, and they're probably laughing away. Come on, can you not take Dakota? I'll be good. Make him disappear. Just
Oh, brilliant.
oh my god! I honestly don't know, guys. Honestly,
Ugh.
ah.
You can't ever deny we don't live up to the name.
But here's an interesting question talking about disclosure and that, right? When all these files are finally released, right? And finally we get the technology slowly released, right? Because it's going to happen. right? And we change this world slightly, maybe in 10 years' time. When do you think they'll actually come down and meet with us? I mean, in front of everybody.
Oh, then I bet you shouldn't tell my answer I had lined up.
Because that'd be interesting. I would like to know, because obviously we will meet with them. We'll have to meet with them.
I'm sure there's a lot of them here already.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
pretty
mean in the public
for that.
eyes.
You know, you just openly, as in talking to us. Again, if you want a time, I can't give you a time. You know.
No, I know what you're saying. There's no time limit. There's no time when you can do this. But what I'm saying is,
Well, in a timeline war, let's say, right? Why would you give away the one thing that can be moved around? As soon as you give the time, then you have a target for the goodies and the bodies to go for.
oh yeah,
One
yeah.
thing that moves around is the time in the timeline war.
Right,
So there's one question that cannot be answered. Everything else can, except for when it's going to happen. You know.
I know that there's extraterrestrials already in this world, like Elon Musk, like Iron Firehorse said. There is, there's something dodgy about him. There's just something dodgy about him. There's obviously ones that are here that look exactly like us, right? But what I'm saying is right, I don't want a time frame, but what I want is, do you think it will come a point, maybe 10, 20 years or 30 years down the line, once we're starting to evolve into a race that's traveling the stars, do you think there'll come a point where they come down one day, right? And they say, hello, I'm Zargon the Magnificent or something like that. And I'm for this planet. And we would like to meet with you in front of the TV crews. Do you think there will come a point within our lifetimes?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking 20, 30 years. I think it'd be way before that. Way before that. You know? Now, they'll come down and talk to a few people. There's going to be a lot of stragglers that they probably won't want to talk to at all, but they'll be able to tell that by their brainwaves anyway. I get that. You know, I'm here to offer my story or what I know to whoever's interested, but I'm not going to bend anyone's arm. It's up to them to make a decision, and they get to do what they want. Once they don't piss me off or try and get me to do something that I don't want to do, I'll let them do their own thing, and they have their own opinions. They're the ones that change their mind. I'm not on this planet to change their mind. They change their own mind. I just offer what I know. All of us are doing that. Nobody has the right to tell somebody else what to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's just my opinion. You know, I don't force it on anyone. I offer it. If they accept it, they accept it. You know.
I fully believe we're going to start seeing things possibly within the next year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Just with the pattern of how things are going. And to say, yes, I've asked around for time frames, and they've been given, and just kind of a rough, by 2024, we might start seeing something. And obviously, back then, I just kind of let the note of it, set it aside. It's like, all right, we'll see what happens. And seeing the patterns that we are seeing today, there's no doubt in my mind that there's something going to come forward. As far as what they arrange, this is not the first planet that they've had. They've assisted with this kind of freedom. They know from experience that it has to take its own course of action. They're trying to progress it as much as they can because it was withheld for so long, but they're still trying to help make sure it's done in a safe manner so people just don't freak out. It's like, what was that movie, Paul, where the little alien dude says that the picture of me was being drip fed to your world ever since you found out about me, so if our species ever do meet, you don't have a fucking spaz attack.
See, it's interesting you say that, because I don't know, maybe you've seen this, Dot. In the UK, they knew, and I noticed in France too, that you can watch the adverts and stuff, because I've got like Sky TV and stuff. You can watch TV channels for all around the world. There's a lot of adverts now for like the stupidest things, right? But they have like aliens in them, extraterrestrials in them.
Yeah.
And they've got one where it's like a family moving into a new house, and they're extraterrestrials. And everybody's treating them weird because they're like green. right? And then there's another one where it's like an advert, and it's this alien with big eyes and stuff like that. And I think it's true what you're saying, Dakota. I think they're priming folk. I think they really are. They're priming us.
Well,
Well, they have
here's a-
to. You're looking at thousands of years of conditioning. You know what I mean? They have to be unwound. I mean, it's so many people are going to lose their fucking mind when they find out that this has happened, and wool's been pulled over our eyes, all of us, every single one of us on the planet, for a long time, and that has to be undone. Or at least people have to, get their head around it and try and accept it and then move past it. And that's going to be hard for everyone. That really is going to be hard. That's the hardest thing that we have to do, is accept it and move past it, and then sort of rebuild. And we have to rebuild correctly. You don't give the same politicians and business people a position of power ever again. They have to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we rebuild and we make the decisions. We all come together ourselves and come to a decision collectively. Again, it's going to take time, and it's going to be painful. But at the same time, I see through that, and I know we're better for it. There's not a lot of smart people on the planet that can get through this. A hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's two questions.
We are going to take casualties. No doubt we're going to take casualties, because some people just don't want to go. And you can't force them. You cannot force them to do anything. Now, if they stand in your way, that's different. You always have to defend yourself. But don't go after somebody just because they have a different opinion. Just leave them alone.
Okay,
let them off. They'll see the light or not. They'll see where you are in a couple of years' time and probably chase after you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If not, so be it. Even if they're a relation or something, you have to. I'd like to think that somebody would let me make a decision for me. And I'd like to give them the same thing. You make your own decision, but just make sure that there's choices there, to have a look at the choices rather than just go with this because somebody told you to. Have a look at the options and weigh it up yourself. That's what.
There's actually.
To do. Again, I'm not pushing Anthem on anybody.
Yeah. There's actually two questions in the chat there. The Facebook user, I don't know what your name is because it says Facebook user. What's with the gloves? I've got very painful hands, and I wear. Would you call these gloves again? They're like compression gloves, arthritis gloves, and that's what they're for. But there was that question there, which is quite interesting. Do you think
just the same as them?
Yeah, I've got actually two pairs. I've got ones that I drive with, and they've got like rubber bits on them. But there's one there that says, "Do you think there's a question there, Dakota?" I need to scroll back to it. I can't find it. The creator extraterrestrials. See, that's an interesting one. See, I don't think we're originally for this planet. I think we're for a different planet. I think there's thousands of humanoid species throughout the universe.
Oh yeah.
You have to, in the earliest scriptures, we're talking about biblical texts that were etched on clay tablets. There was already a hominid species that was on Earth by the time God showed up and started messing around. There was already genetic experiments done to where different groups of ETs mixed in their DNA. And even in mainstream science, there's still unknown branches of early human evolution that we don't know where the hell it came from. Australian Aborigine people, they have a genetic ancestor that we don't know where it is or where they came from or where they went. It's no doubt that no matter what angle you look at it from, humans today are the result of a lot of intermixing and interbreeding. The being we know as God, yeah, he was technically extraterrestrial. He does get traced back to Anunnaki, and he's been back for a little bit.
Yeah. Was the person Facebook user that says it's me again? We don't know who you are.
I'll bring it up on the screen. This is how we see you.
We see you.
This is how we see you.
There's only like 6 billion Facebook users. We just need to pick somebody.
And we don't stream to just one Facebook platform.
Yes.
We stream to quite a few. So
it's oh my god. I'm looking forward to this disclosure. I will say that because it's been needing to happen for a long time. And I'm hoping that when they do release this, it is going to solve some problems. It's obviously it's going to take a while, right? Everybody
Well,
tells us it's going to take a while.
if you're waiting for mainstream to release, it's not going to happen.
Oh no.
Disclosure right now, and it's going to be what we're doing. So you're going to have groups of people worldwide that are going to be talking about this. Mainstream can't do shit about that. They'll try and ban it, as you said. How many networks are you on? They can't ban everything, and everyone's going to be talking. I mean, people will be talking about this in the shops. As soon as the ship shows up, you know what I mean? Every time you go down to the store or whatever, you're going to be talking about it. So they've lost that battle. But don't wait for the media to tell you what's going on.
Oh, no.
They're going to put their own spin in it. We're the disclosure. That's it, you know? And I don't trust them anyway, no matter what they say. You have guys up there with the sonic pins and saying one story, another story. It's just like, fuck off. I've been on this for a few years. You're full of shit, you know?
It's
sorry about the cursing again, folks.
That's fine. It's fine. Look, it's what I'm looking forward to is the people out there that stick their neck out on the UFO subjects, right? And they actually Dakota and UDOTS and and Elena and all the other people that have stuck to this and they've told the truth and all that, and they've been ridiculed throughout the years for what they believe in, right? And then when it finally comes out, all these folk that have said all these things are going to be like, fuck, they were right.
When they won't even have the balls to say anything because, I mean, hell, I've been watching some of the chatter. It looks like there's going to be some people that are going to try to fuck up the event down in October. But nevertheless, once it comes out that, yes, these people were onto something, the people that were trying to shut it down, they're not going to say shit.
No, they'd be quiet.
No, they're just going to go quiet.
Yeah,
and sit in their own little corners.
But my favorite saying is when tinfoil hats turn into crowns of knowledge. And I mean, that's happening. That's happening very quickly. You're not going to be laughed at very soon. And as I said, I don't need any credit for figuring this out. I don't want fame. I just, get the word out. And if you want to hear it, fair enough.
I just want the world to be a better place.
Not interested in having arguments with people over this at all. The evidence is rolling out. You don't even have to argue. As I said, in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, I'm very patient with this stuff because I've been waiting a long time anyway. So I can wait a little bit more, let people catch up. But we're having a conversation right now. Let's get ahead of it. Get more people involved. Keep talking.
Do you think? And this is something I was thinking about the other night. See how we've had all these extraterrestrials that we've supposedly shot down, right? And they've been killed, and then we've kept them and stuff like that, right? And do you think that whoever's done this to these entities will have to pay the price if they're still alive? Do you think that those extraterrestrials will want those bodies back?
I remember Alex telling a story about, I think it was a Tau Ceti pilot that got captured, and then he was taken underground to a particular base, and they did horrible things to him. And I think he said the Tau Ceti wanted to invade, particularly, I think he said North Dakota. I think he said that specifically, or the US, to get their pilot back. They were ready to invade the planet to get one pilot back. Now, you know what I mean? That's what Alex said. I sort of believed him. I was like, yeah, that's cool. If that's the way things work out there, your whole race can be held responsible for the actions of a group of assholes. So you have to be careful now,
You just disappeared for me there.
But as I said, if the whole race can be held responsible for a group of idiots, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know what went on.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, there's obviously been over the years, there's been the black governments have made deals with the bad entities out there, the Greys, for instance. We'll mention some of them. Obviously, no all Greys are bad, but what we're talking about here is they are going to have to face up to what they've done to people when they've been abducting them. They've been letting people be abducted and operated on and stuff like that. These people should be tried for what they've done to people.
I agree with that. I'm not going to really get wrapped up in a whole revenge thing. We need to, put out the fire first and then call a committee.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Not going to get wrapped up in having a dispute about what's going to happen to them. Be like, take care of the fucking problem, and then we can take care of them. And there's other guys that are much more equipped that are here to help us, that are taking care of the ET problem. We need to sort out what's going on down here.
Exactly.
That's our job, That's our job, and they're not going to do it for us. So that's just the way I say it. And it is our mess. This is damage control.
Aye.
This is our damage control. It's our fucking planet. So we need to take care of this shit.
Exactly.
This planet's totally messed up.
It's got a lot of good people, though. It's got a lot of good people. If they have a voice and they come together, we can sort this out. There's a lot of smart people on this planet. Well, there's a lot of assholes as well, but you know what I mean. There's enough smart people on this planet to get us out of it.
DeGrasse Tyson, I saw an interview with him years ago, and he was talking about the government structure here in the U.S. His question is, where is the rest of life? We have all these different people in government that only come from law backgrounds. Where's the rest of life? If you're going to have representatives, deal with all the issues for the people, you should have people from all aspects of life that actually know what the hell they're talking about, instead of just spitfiring what they can just because they want to make an argument.
Well, do you think Neil deGrasse Tyson is going to get any work now when all this comes out? I mean, he's been spouting the same shit forever. So, I mean, he was supposed to be top of his game, headed the Hayden Planetarium and all that crap. And when this comes out, I'll personally make sure that he never gets a job educating anybody again.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to punch him for it, but just going to make sure he can't do any more damage. I'm positive he was read into it, because there's no way he could have pushed back so much, being a scientific man, saying, where's the evidence, when there's so much evidence out there and so many fucking stars. You know what I mean? He deliberately put up blocks in front of people, deliberately misleading people. He's not going to work as soon as this comes out. He's never going to get work again and never be trusted.
He's making his money the new, isn't he? He's
dug the hole for himself. He dug the hole for himself. So I'm not really too concerned. When all this comes out, he's going to be out of the way. He's eliminated himself now. He's done it.
Yeah, true.
There's a lot of them that's got to be out of a job when this all comes out.
Oh, absolutely. And there's been an awful lot of people that will be wanting to know this new stuff so they can go forward. They'll be into it. They'll pick it up very quickly, They'll be like, oh, that's how the science works. Because science has been lying to us, but 30%, I'd say, of science isn't correct. They've deliberately led us astray to keep us restricted, to not get, free power.
You just need to look down the lines of patents. People that have disappeared because they've invented things. I mean, look at the guy that built the device for the Mercury. It was a levitation device. He just disappeared one day, never to be seen again. And then there was the guy that made the engine that ran in water. He just disappeared there. And all these people.
Another one who started putting on TikTok that conveniently was a victim in one of the mass shootings out of Buffalo, New York.
Whoa.
It's. I bet you there's somewhere on this planet right now, and in that vault, there's all these files with all the patents on them, and they need to be released, along with obviously the newer technology too. And
there was over 5,000 patents released at the beginning of the year, as far as I know, or they were due to be released. I didn't actually look. That was some of the stuff that was restricted. So hopefully they're in, pushed in development. They're in alpha or beta stage, and they should have them rolling out soon. But again, they're not going to hand them to us. They're not going to hand them to us if the governments are in charge. They're not going to give away technology to them. They're just not. So if we want that technology, which is our birthright, which the military have had for 70 odd years more,
Mm-hmm.
we need to step up and say, give us our shit. That's ours. We paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. All these pushes for disclosure, you really got to stop and think. Why is it that they're ignoring the majority of people that are having these experiences? Yes, they may not have the necessary background to understand what the heck happened to them, But nevertheless, there's still a lot of people who have a lot of questions, and they may have something that they may just be able to tell their story and find something that is the missing piece that all these brilliant scientists have been stumbling themselves over. The majority is being left out. We need to step up, but unfortunately, we've also developed the habit to where once, say, all those patents do get released, who's all actually going to sit down and read them all?
I have a sneaky suspicion an awful lot of people are already on it. You know, there's so many people, the researchers out there that probably almost cracked it, you know, and then they'll see these patents be released and go, wow, that's what I almost had. And, you know, they'll work with that. If they're open to the public, then anyone can work on them. I don't know if that's going to happen because they want, you know, if it's an open source patent to be different, there's no profit to be made in it. It's all about profit at the moment. But
Exactly.
We'll get around that. We'll realize that humanitarian, if everything's pumped back into humanitarian, we'll get this done pretty quickly.
I think when all this does come out and all these technology comes out, I think we need to focus on these main things. Technology for clean energy. That's a big one, right? We need to focus on health, the medibeds, right? And we need to try and focus on stop all these fucking wars. We need to stop all these
wars. The wars will stop as soon as you remove the governments because the people don't want wars. It's as simple as that. People don't want to go to war. Governments want to go to war. So as soon as the government's out of the picture, there'll be no wars to worry about. There'll be a couple of skirmishes, but the majority of people want to get on.
Yeah.
I don't see a big problem there. Once we take that head down, that's it. We can all just like, oh, excellent, let's do it. You know.
But there'll be governments that will refuse to go down. There will be governments that refuse to go down. I mean, just look at North Korea. Kenny's got what he's got, but I mean, there will be governments out there that will refuse to go down. What happens to those governments? Do you forcefully go in with the new technology and deal with them?
I don't think any government will be able to stand up to the people. Once the people stand up, that's it. Government's gone. What power do they have? Who are they going to talk to? If nobody's listening to them, what are they going to say to you? You know, they put on a broadcast on the national carrier. If nobody has the fucking TV turned on, nobody's listening to them. And that's what's going to happen. They've lost interest. They've lost everyone's interest now because of the lies. And I think everyone's starting to see that. So,
this is what I believe, right? This is what I'm thinking about. That's so true, right? But what about countries in the world that are that big a police state that don't allow their people to look out? Let's take North Korea, for instance, right? It does not allow its people internet. It does not allow its people to. Oh yes, there's a black market to like bring stuff in and that, and word of mouth will eventually slowly get in. But just look at North Korea. Come on, they're eating each other because they've not got much food. I mean, what happens if, right, hypothetically here, what happens if, like, say, North Korean government decide to kill their people to stop this from happening? Do we use that technology to go in and deal with them?
Because of the dietary restrictions in North Korea, you have to realize airdropping a bunch of chocolate bars is all it takes to not to take them out. That's how bad malnutritious they are. It's a lot like victims of the Holocaust. Soldiers giving candies and stuff to the victims of the Holocaust. Those people were so malnourished that the small act of kindness made them either very, very violently ill or just flat out killed them because their bodies could not handle it.
I'm going to say this, there is going to be, I know the governments will fall and hopefully civilization will be able to rebuild itself in a better way, but there is going to be people out there, there are always people out there that want to do evil, right? I know what you said, Dots, there'll be wee skirmishes here and there. How do we deal with them? Do we use the new technology to deal with them? How do we go about this? Or do we set like a law? See, this is what I always wondered. All the governments collapse. Who's got to be in charge? Let's face it, we've got to have somebody. We've got to have like a council or something like that runs everything. Who has got to do it?
But I suppose everyone has to agree on it. I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We get disclosure out of the way. I think everyone's going to come together. And there'll be none of this crap. Everyone's just going to go, right, this is enough of this crap. Let's all get together and sort this out. There won't be, you know what I mean? You're asking me the question. There'll be 8 billion voices coming at you in one go, and they're all going to be in one direction. You know?
Yeah.
Fucking stop this shit. We're going there. And that's it. And again, that's just my opinion. I see it that way because people are just sick of it. You know?
Well, the world's messed up, man. The world's. You just look what's happening in the UK. The new, I mean, with the price of electricity and the price of food, and there's no need for it. There's no in the famines in Africa and stuff like that. There's no need for that. We could cure that in a couple of months so easily, but we don't because it's all to do with the dollar and gold and silver and and money.
But here's the thing: only 10% of the world's wealth. Think about this: 10% of the world's wealth is physical cash.
Yes.
Why are we fussing over that? 10% of the world's 10% of the world's wealth is physical. And kind of go back to what we're saying. Yes, something big is about to happen. There's been a timestamp. Why do you think the politicians are starting to push for population reduction by 2025?
I know, I seen that. Did you see that? Did you actually? Was it that Pamela Harris at the White House? She did a speech. Yeah. Did you see that? Where she says a future for our children, we need to reduce population. I can't believe she actually said that. On air.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's going to happen. Okay, I mean, because what's happening?
You're hoping for population reduction?
No. Aye, start me first.
Say goodbye to the old people first.
Take me away. I'll disappear again. No. Hey, what happened there? I was on a planet there for 10 years and now they've brought me back. Has any time passed?
I couldn't resist.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh God!
Oh God! You know, it's a time. Somebody will see this and they'll be like, "Oh my God, that guy's just spending time as a time traveler." It's something that impels me. That do you think there is such a thing as time travel? Do you think there's any obviously there is extraterrestrials out there that've done it, right? But obviously it doesn't work to 100% because it creates another world every time they do it. Because I've heard about this. Do you think? I wonder if there's any for our future right now watching this planet, like millions of years more advanced, watching us right now. Look at these three guys talking about what was going to happen.
Galactic Federation's from 300 years in the future.
Yep.
But I thought it wasn't. I thought it wasn't possible. I thought time travel wasn't possible.
Time travel.
If you look up Project Pegasus, the US government was doing time travel back in the 60s, 70s, and there's about 200 papers on the internet on that.
Aye, but
yes, for the Marvel nerds, Project Pegasus is Captain Marvel.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
but here's the thing. I learned. I've read a few sci-fi books and that, and a few like people that talk about time travel and extraterrestrials and that, and then they said that there was a race of beings out there, and when they did come back, they came to Earth like maybe 100 years later, but it wasn't their Earth. They created another dimension, basically. I thought it wasn't possible.
Here's the thing you got to realize. Linear time only exists when you're on a large enough planetary body with enough gravity. But time does exist. Once you're in space, just traveling through space is traveling through time. It is possible. We do it all the time. No, not even faster we go. Not even the faster we go. Just regular travel. If we were to take the snail mail route through space, it's still traveling through time. because of how technology is. By a technicality, the Galactic Federation is from 300 years in the future. But again, linear time only exists when you're on a planet.
But it's localized, yeah.
That's really interesting. That's really never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying time is a fluid. It's water. It's not until you get to rocks and stuff that it starts bending into a certain way.
So, is there anywhere in the universe where time doesn't exist?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think after you get 6 density, there's no time. Everything's outside of time then. Time is localized, and I think it's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And after that, it runs at different rates.
Mm-hmm.
I know in 4th and then in 5th. And as far as I know, after that, it's outside of time. But then again, if you look, your soul exists outside of time anyway.
That's right, because
your soul completely exists outside of time. So you were talking about these bodies and who made them. Was it the ET made? Didn't make your soul. Your soul is source.
The soul goes back to source. That's what it does.
And
you
you're
get reincarnations.
Absolutely timeless. You know.
You don't know how many times you've been reincarnated here. This could be your 559th time. Get what I mean? Obviously you'll know until you die, but then you'll not be able to tell anybody because you'll be dead, because you'll be up there. But when you come back again, you'll forget.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, no necessarily.
Not necessarily.
You remember a wee bit of stuff, because I can remember stuff, which is odd. But who knows who I was? Who knows who Dakota was? Obviously, right.
The soul is down, right? As far as I know, and my understanding is, if you're outside of a soul trap system, you retain your memories. Now you'll still be a couple of years as an adolescent learning your body and all that crap, but you'll know who you were and you'll retain your memories. In other systems, that's how it works, as far as I know. So
how do you escape the soul trap?
Soul trap is down at the moment. It was running from Saturn to the moon and relayed from Saturn to the moon, relayed to the moon, and then to Earth. So it's down. As far as I know, that equipment is down. Some people might, from their belief, go somewhere else or whatever, or might get caught out. But if you're aware that that's down, well, then it's just like you're not going to get caught in it, you know. As far as I know now, I mean, you might have to touch on this with somebody else who's a bit better.
We'll need to do an experiment, Dakota. You ever been to Yellowstone?
Oh, I should have never told you about that. Those of you who don't know, Yellowstone National Park, there's a stretch of land where technically murder is legal just because, you know, it's a jury of peers situation. And it's the part of Yellowstone that's inside
Dakota,
the
come on,
Idaho
see this
border.
amazing thing. Look at this cliff. It's so beautiful. See, I stand to the edge.
You got to come up with some new material, man.
I know. I would never do that to you, Dakota. I would never do such a thing. You'd probably do it to me, mind you, but
Tempting.
I know it's tempting. I'm a very annoying person sometimes, you know.
Yeah, you wonder why they sent your ass down here.
I know. Why take me back, please? I can't take it anymore.
Oh, come on. We're only going to get lucky once with that. So...
I don't care if I'm posted to a remote outpost on Jupiter's moon. I just take me back.
It's not as remote as people think.
No, but it's to think that there's spirits out there that can interact with the other entities of the universe. Get what I mean? It's quite interesting that how there's entities out there for different dimensions that can interact with spirits.
Have you ever tried remote viewing or anything like that?
Experienced stuff. I've experienced stuff, and I've been to the Akasha Records. Well, I think it was. I've been to a strange planet, a purple planet, where I keep bumping into his relations. And that's the first time we met, and we met who was it we met? Lisa, it was Lisa Fry. And then it was Elena. And I started having these weird dreams about this little girl, and then I told Dakota about it, and then he showed me a picture, and that was the little girl that I seen. And it's always I always used to get taken to this place, always like a purple sky, and it had right rocky, It was weird. I don't know where it was, Titan or something like that. I felt like it was somewhere in this system. It was weird.
Purple sky. I remember Tony Rodriguez and somebody else that was on Mars saying that the sunset on Mars is purple. So if it was a red base to it, it may have been Mars. But it could be anywhere. How many planets is there? You know.
It was like a rocky. You ever been to a beach and you've seen the rocks on the beach where they blend in with the sand? That's what it was like. But it was every time I went there, it was dark but purple skies. And obviously I was sleeping because I did it when I went to my bed and stuff like that. And I've seen some crazy stuff. I've seen some really weird things that I could never really explain. Like the diamond shaped thing that went anti-clockwise, and it was like a big. It wasn't really diamond shaped. It was more like a kind of like a big crystal that just went all anti-clockwise, and I've also experienced other things too. They've showed me things, but that's kind of personal, to be purely honest with you. Dakota knows about that. I don't really like getting into that kind of side of things because it was just weird. Really weird. If you want to ken about it, though, it's when you talk to Dakota, Dakota will tell you about it, but I don't really want to talk about it in here.
Chris, we actually just had another confirmation come in.
What?
Remember Damocles?
Ken, I was thinking about her tonight. That's weird you said that.
Well, do you remember what she said when she told us about that screen memory after the show?
Oh my God, you're asking me. My brain's melted, man.
No, just come on. Come on.
You're not that remember. Old. I'm nearly 42. Come on. Just, if I had migraine all day, just tell us what it was.
She found the dress.
Really?
She found photos of the dress she was in that night.
That's interesting, that.
And it lines up perfectly with what I told her happened.
See, that's quite strange, that. See, this is what see the dots that I kind of broke away from the UFO subject for a wee while because it was getting intense. And I couldn't feel myself. See, if I get into it, I can feel myself getting drawn into this again. I can feel. Don't do that, Dakota. Do not play the tones and do not do that weird stare. I feel weird, right? I do feel weird, right? The night I've had enough of migraine, and that's usually a sign. I always get it. And I've always managed to ground myself. I've got a crystal over there that I've used it to ground myself with. And it was quite interesting because there was people in my village came back to me. Came what I found weird. Remember I told you about how I remembered my birth?
Mm-hmm.
And what was her name that we had on the show? She had the exact same experience.
Danny, yeah.
Yeah. She had the exact same experience.
It was nuts where I was starting to wonder if you two were born in the same hospital.
But that's the weird thing. I mean, that is the weird thing. I can remember that so clearly. And it makes me wonder who were the beings behind me waving at me. See if I get into this, I can feel myself getting drawn into this again. See if I'll end up having a weird dream tonight or something like that. I can feel it. And as if I just don't want to go down this route again. It's weird. Do you understand, Dots? Do you ever do like the remote viewing?
Do I ever what? Sorry, do remote viewing?
Do you ever do remote viewing? And
oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, I've done remote viewing before. I had a personal experience with it. Okay, I'll explain this a bit better. One of the targets, it was a practice target, and unbeknownst, I was blind to it. And when I jumped to the target, I went straight to something that I was interested in, and hadn't a clue what I was looking at effectively. And I realized how powerful it was. Right, okay. The target was Niagara Falls, Now, I should have been able to see Niagara Falls and draw it and all that crack. But as soon as I wrote the number down, I jumped into something and started to draw it. And it was, for the word of it, I'll tell you what it was rather than just explain what I drew. It was the wheelhouse of a ship I was drawing. And it was wet and it was cold. And I wrote a few descriptive words, windows all around, blah, 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 blah. But I hadn't a clue where it was. And then when it came at the end of the practice, they revealed the target, and the target was Niagara Falls, and I instantly knew what happened. I'd seen a movie in the 80s with a ship called The Lady in the Mist in Niagara Falls. And I said, if I'm ever in Niagara Falls, I want to go on that ship. So as soon as the target was given to me, I shot into the wheelhouse of the ship. And I didn't get any of the rest of the target because it was right in the middle of the mist, in the middle of Niagara. So that's all I drew. I was so on target, I couldn't even figure out where it was. So it's, yeah, I've had a number of other ones. The Betty Barney Hill abduction, I remote viewed, drew a little picture of it and all that. A rover on Mars, I remote viewed. And then the American Civil War, which I didn't get. I didn't get it. So I had 3 hits out of 4 on one target practice. But it was the Niagara Falls thing that got me. I was like, whoa. I understood what happened. But I was like, that's powerful. My brain just went straight to what I was interested in and ignored everything else, you know? So absolutely works. Absolutely works.
It does.
You got the twins playing. I've just messaged you on Facebook, Dakota. You got the twins playing. You sure?
The only thing going on my end is that fan in the background.
I've been doing the rabbit hole now. I can hear it. I can hear it. It's making me feel weird. I can
Like
feel
I
it.
said, your migraines may just be a muscle response. You're not using your brain.
Maybe
Being forced to
true,
use
but
your brain.
maybe it scares me a wee bit, actually, to be purely honest with you. Because why?
It's gonna be scary.
But why did they want me? That's the simple fact. Why did they want me?
Luck of the draw, I feel like some days.
I know. I mean, why not pick somebody else? Get what I mean?
Hey,
Oh, I can hear it. It's quite strong, by the way. I can hear it now. It feels like
you're
it's,
the one that keeps
staticky
saying that none of this really started kicking off until you met me.
None of it.
There's a
really
lot
did
of people that say that, actually.
It didn't really start kicking off until I met you, to be purely honest with you. But it's quite strong. I can feel it. There's something going to happen tonight. Something's going to happen to Waniers. I can feel. I'm just taking my gloves off now, but I can just. I don't know. I feel weird as fuck because I've not been practicing it for a while. But I can how to ground myself. I'll just ground myself after the live. I'll just ground myself.
So
I've got a crystal
that's what you
thing
call it now, huh?
Well, letting out some secrets there, letting out some secrets. So what we're discussing tomorrow night, same subject.
Yeah, I think we go into it a little further. Maybe update if we have anything happen tonight after we go off air.
I'm going to wrap tomorrow night. I'm going to wrap my head in tinfoil.
I've been wanting to do that for a show. I think that might be good.
I'm going to do that tomorrow night. I'll need to see if I can get some tinfoil.
It looked like a big tinfoil nipple.
Dots, are you joining us tomorrow night?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, tomorrow, yeah,
Right.
yeah, it should be cool. Yeah.
All right.
So, we'll catch everybody in the chat. We've nearly been going for 2 hours now, so we'll see you all tomorrow night. And if I get abducted by aliens, I'll say goodbye now. And Dots is Dakota's new co-host.
Of course, they might just take him away. Much love, y'all. Stay safe, and if something happens to you after watching this show, let us know. And
Might not be able to tell us because they might be away somewhere.
And we'll just say this: we can't afford the therapy bills forever.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.